Start with our beloved Sheikh Akram. And I'll be very upfront in saying that when I first started this program 7 years ago, at first I had difficulty with what Sheikh Akram was saying. Some of the things he was saying I was not used to hearing. And I was like, I'm not so sure about what he's saying. But wallahi, year after year after year, as you hear him, it starts to break through. And it makes sense. And I have not had any teacher like him. The way he thinks, it just makes you want to pursue knowledge for the sake of knowledge, for the sincerity of knowledge, and not to push, the progress of any one group versus the other. But it just really makes you think. And one of the most amazing things that he tells us is that, you know what, if you don't agree with me, say something. I want you to disagree with me. I want you to feel free to disagree with me. I don't hear that from almost any other teacher. So again, special thanks to Sheikh Akram. Thanks to Sheikh Abdul Hakim for, in the first place, almost giving me a heart attack. What was it? Month and a half ago. I was like, did you write this dissertation? I got a couple comments. You might want to review them. I was like, oh boy. But then, alhamdulillah, we got the great news. It was like dissertation passed. Alhamdulillah. I'm not going to find out on the podium. And then I have a thanks for Ustadh Akhlaq, but it's not poetry. It's the greatest one-liner I've ever heard from a teacher, and I don't know if he'll recall this, but I actually use it on my students. There was someone who was translating a verse, and they translated it in a way, and Ustadh Akhlaq was like, oh, yeah, pretty good, but do it less like Yoda. And I started cracking up, and I use that every time since. Just echoing what everybody else said, that, this is not the end. There's no way. And Ustadh Maliha, I remember we had our kind of one-on-one, checkup a few months ago. And I was going through a little bit of a crisis because I wasn't ready to be done. I'll be honest. It seems like a goal that's like, okay, you reach the top of the mountain, but I can't stop climbing. I want to keep climbing. I want to keep, struggling and aiming to get somewhere. So I remember I asked her, I was like, is there an Ifta program? And I was checking for that email every single day. And as soon as that came out, I immediately jumped on it because I had to keep going. But the funny part is, it took me a while to tell my wife because I waited for her to be in a good mood one of these days. And she was like, oh, I got this great compliment at work. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. By the way, I got 2 more years. So it is it's a journey. It's not a goal. It's not a destination. This is a lifelong responsibility. And I think a couple of you have already echoed this, that whether you like it or not, it's a trust now, right? And we don't really have the luxury of stopping.